Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody?
What's up, football fans? What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody enjoyed their Sunday and Monday night games. Welcome into the Truth League Report. I'm your man, Blue Enforcer, a.k.a. The Truth. We're going to definitely talk about Week 5 that was in the NFL season. And, definitely going to give out my top 5 games, my Fab 5, and then my Fab 5 ballers, who really balled out this Sunday or Monday and definitely gave their team a good chance to win in football. So definitely make sure y'all come on in. I know I'm a Tennessee Titans fan. I got a lot of Titan fans here. But if you're a fan of any other team, you are welcome in here as well. This is a safe zone for all NFL fans. This is not just for Tennessee Titans fans. This is for all NFL fans and everything, because I actually had a Colts fan actually give me a comment after the live stream, thanking me and everything, and I really did appreciate that definitely very much. So again, that was just, I definitely did appreciate that very much indeed. But everybody, make sure you follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on Twitter X. Super chats are also appreciated as well. I definitely do thank all of you for tuning in to the show. Definitely make sure y'all follow anywhere where you get your podcast from: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, Apple Podcasts. Definitely make sure you definitely follow those there as well. These episodes, of course, will be up there too. And also, anybody that comes on in, make sure you smash that like button. Go ahead and give me a like. Definitely help me out. And also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well, and hit that bell, so that way you will know when I do go live with anything, whether it is about the Tennessee Titans' next opponent, the Baltimore Ravens, or if we're talking about like the NFL games coming up when I make my picks. And then also I do Down to the T, where I talk about all things sports in the state of Tennessee and in the surrounding areas. So we definitely try to do that as well. So I definitely do appreciate everybody, definitely tuning in and everything. But we're definitely going to go ahead and get this show started, as, we're going to show, of course, all the games that happened, the final scores and everything, of course. I am definitely very, very disappointed. My Tennessee Titans did not win and everything. And so I am disappointed in that. Of course, big news that we did talk about on Saturday was the trade. Chase Claypool traded to the Miami Dolphins. That trade definitely took place. Also, another trade, excuse me, that looks to be finalized is the Atlanta Falcons are trading for Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Van Jefferson as well. It looks like a swap of 2025 picks are going to be the payment for that, but I'll have more on that later on this week about those. So definitely some news definitely coming out in the NFL of, with moves being made and things like that. And now the question, and I see it now, that it is a swap. Let's see, the Falcons send a 2025 sixth round pick, and then the Rams will get they sent a 2025 sixth round pick to the Rams, but they get a seventh round pick back. So I mean, basically, each team still gets to keep picks. The only thing is, Van Jefferson goes to the Falcons instead of staying with the Rams. And also some other news that came out. Dolphins running back Devon Achane. He's gonna be Devon Achane. He's gonna miss multiple weeks with a knee injury he suffered in the Dolphins' victory over the New York Giants. and also out at least 4 games is going to be Viking star wide receiver Justin Jefferson. So, James Conner is also on IR as well. So, I hope the Titans would make this move. Mecole Hardman looks like is trying to get out from the Jets because he's not being used much. My Tennessee Titans could use somebody like that because we need some speed. And Mecole Hardman could definitely do that. But our troubles are more so on the defensive side. But we're not here to talk about just the Titans right now. But let's get into the top 5 games that I thought were big-time games this week. One, I have to admit I was very impressed. The New Orleans Saints go into Foxborough and just not only shut out the New England Patriots, but blew them out in the worst possible way. 34-0. And obviously this just shows Mac Jones is on a long list of Alabama quarterbacks that are not very good in the NFL. Quite a few Alabama quarterbacks, Bryce Young could be headed down the same path. We don't know about Tua or anything like that just yet. But, Alabama produces a lot of great players. Quarterback is not one of them. And that's just how it is. We've seen Alabama quarterbacks struggle in the NFL, and right now it looks like, Mac Jones is, just along the list of quarterbacks that just haven't produced. Tua, he's having his issues, but is having a much better season. Mac Jones, struggling. Bryce Young, 0-5 right now in Carolina. Now, Jalen Hurts is definitely the exception to the rule. Let me say that right now. Jalen Hurts is the lone exception, at least within the last 10 years. Because Jalen Hurts is tearing it up with Philadelphia. Already been to a Super Bowl already, and his team is undefeated right now at 5-0. And so we're definitely going to be talking about the Eagles a little bit later. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm definitely going to be talking about them quite a bit. But, not too many Alabama quarterbacks have been successful in the NFL lately. A.J. McCarron, pretty much a career backup, although he was doing all right in the XFL. But I'm looking back at Alabama starting quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts is the only one that's really been successful in the NFL so far. So that's saying a lot about a particular university and how they produce that. Now, they produce good wide receivers. They produce some good defensive players. They produce good running backs. They produce decent offensive linemen. But they don't produce very good quarterbacks. So right now, Mac Jones could be on his way out of New England, and they may force Bill Belichick to retire at this point. I think Bill Belichick, I know he is the greatest coach of all time, but every coach has an expiration date. And that expiration date may be coming up on Bill Belichick. Number 2, my next opponent, the Baltimore Ravens. Had a chance to win, but couldn't figure it out at the end. And the Steelers come back and beat the Baltimore Ravens 17-10. And now the Titans are going to have to face off against a very ticked off Ravens team that knows they let one get away. And so, the Steelers, this was one of my top 5 games of the week that I was looking forward to, because I knew I absolutely knew this was going to be a dog fight. And that's exactly what this game was. A dog fight. I mean, would you expect anything less? That's why I said I took the Steelers with the points because I figure, 4.5. I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be at least a 3-point game, which I would have won had I chose the Steelers. So Steelers outlast the Ravens. TJ Watt with a big sack to end the game. George Pickens, that dude is underrated, one of the better receivers in the league right now. That dude, he earned himself a big contract in a couple of years. George Pickens got some dog in him. And I gotta admit, I did not expect this out of him, but he a dog. Real deal. Number 3, a team we're going to have to deal with in the AFC South. The Jags taking down the Bills in jolly old London, chaps. 25-20. I've said this on my TNT Tonight show many times, that the Jaguars are going to be a problem as long as number 16 is under center. The Jaguars are still a threat. Now, the only problem is in the AFC South, even though it is a weaker division, the other quarterbacks are starting to show up. Anthony Richardson, before he got hurt in the victory over the Tennessee Titans, showing some promise. C.J. Stroud showing some promise in Houston. And Houston, I got to admit, might be a little bit better than all of us thought. So if you're a Tennessee Titans fan, you're in trouble. And that's just real. Great game for the Jags. And I want to thank Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne almost single-handedly won me my fantasy matchup this week. But I'm kind of mad at Green Bay Packers defensive linebacker Quay Walker for getting hurt. I know it wasn't his fault. But he gets hurt and particularly cost me my matchup where I lost by 1 fantasy point. He gave me 7.5 points. He gave me like 7.5 points. All I needed him to do was get to 9. You give me 9 fantasy points, I would win. And I lost by that much. And I could have won my 3rd straight game, and I could be 4-1 right now, leading my division. But I'm still going to win this league. I'm still going to win that league. I guarantee you that. But a good win by the Jags, tough loss by the Bills. Both of them are 3-2. Another one that was impressive. The Detroit Lions. They're for real, ladies and gentlemen. The pride is back in Motown. They are roaring at 4-1. Taking down Carolina 42-24. And Carolina 0-5 on the year. And Bryce Young is struggling. But I mean, this was to be expected. And there are some that think the Panthers might have screwed themselves up trading up for Bryce Young. And now, they don't, he threw for 247 yards, 3 TDs, 2 interceptions, which right now he has 5 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions on the year, completion percentage of 63.9. And I know this is growing pains for Bryce Young because he's used to being on top of the world. He's used to being a national championship quarterback. Now he's at the bottom of the barrel having to pick himself up. A lot of quarterbacks in their first year are going to struggle. But man, I did not see Bryce Young struggling this bad. But shout out to the Lions, because the Lions, they are proving they are the real effing deal. They are the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. This Lions team is scary. They might be a dark horse to come out of the NFC. I already picked them to win the North. And I think they could do even more damage than that. Last but not least, I'm like Stephen A. Smith. I'm like Stephen A. Smith. And I really don't do this for the Cowboys, the team. I do this for Cowboy fans. Cowboy fans, how y'all feeling today? Y'all all right? I know my team lost too, so I really ain't got a dog in the fight. My team sucks. My team sucks right now. So, that's fine. But dang, y'all got y'all butts kicked. I'm like, I was expecting a little bit better than that. Getting beat down 42-10 out in the Bay Area, I was expecting a little bit better than that, Cowboys. Come on now. I mean, Brock freaking Purdy embarrassed y'all. Now, no doubt about it, 49ers, pretty damn good. Really good. And dare I say, Brock Purdy, he might be the real deal. Brock Purdy. Now, the real question will come at a certain point, depending on if he ends up ever going to another team. Is he really that good of a quarterback? Or is he just a product of being in a system that fits for him? Because that tends to happen a lot, where a quarterback is awesome in one system with one coach, and then he goes to another team where the system's a little different, and they struggle. We've seen that happen a lot. Where you thought you're going to one place where the system fits what you do well, and then you go to a different system that's completely opposite of what you know, and it's a struggle. That can happen. A lot of college quarterbacks so used to the shotgun. A lot of them ain't used to playing under center. That's why they say a lot of quarterbacks that don't play in pro-style systems in college do tend to struggle early in pro-style offenses when they're not used to it. So I want to see, and I mean right now there's a different offensive coordinator in San Francisco, but we know Kyle Shanahan is running the show. But what would happen if something happened where Kyle Shanahan gets fired at some point and they go another direction? Will Brock Purdy still be as good, or will he struggle? Right now, it's pretty damn good. Can't lie about that. Cannot deny it. Through 4 TD passes, no interceptions, a well all-around game. Christian McCaffrey gets in the end zone again. George Kittle, 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. Defensively, they put on a show. Shut the Cowboys completely down. So 49ers 5-0. 49ers and Eagles look like they're on a collision course. Look like they're on a collision course all over again. And this time it could be a different story. So, man. But that was an impressive win by the 49ers indeed. Definitely impressive. But now, I got to talk about my Fab Five ballers. Also, before we do get into that, again, what was your favorite game of the weekend? Could have been the Bears getting their first win over the Commanders. Could have also been, Miami, continuing to impress offensively. Cincinnati looked like they got off the schneid. So let me know what you think. But now it's time for me to talk about the Fab Five ballers. And I got to tell you, it's all offense. Got to start on Thursday night with DJ Moore. So far, it looks like the Bears have won that trade. They give up the number 1 pick, and now the Bears could have, right now, the Bears potentially could have the top 2 picks in the draft next year. They could be picking 1 and 2. Very much so. If Carolina continues the way that they do, the Bears are guaranteed the number 1 pick. Because that would be Carolina's pick. They traded to the Bears. So the Bears could pretty much draft Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison back to back if they want to. And you have Caleb Williams with DJ Moore and Marvin Harrison Jr. Ooh-wee. The Bears could be in a very sweet position. 8 catches, 230 yards, 3 TDs. DJ Moore tore it up in D.C. Travis Etienne helping to give a walloping in London. And again, I thank Travis Etienne for 55 fantasy points, 26 carries, 136 yards, 2 TDs, even though I don't like the Jags. But I like Travis Etienne because he helped me nearly win my fantasy matchup. Again, I mentioned George Pickens. 6 catches, 130 yards, a touchdown, including what I believe was the game winner. It was the one that put him ahead. 41-yard touchdown pass from Kenny Pickett. It was the one that was the go-ahead touchdown. And they won off of that. George Pickens, very underrated. He could be up there with the AJs and up there as one of the top receivers in the league very soon. Then it breaks my heart, but I got to give it to the Eagles. A.J. Brown continues to put up numbers. And I'm pissed off about it because he should still be a Tennessee Titan today. He should be a Tennessee Titan today. And if John Robinson wasn't so stupid and didn't trade him away, we would be good. So I'm a little mad about that. Dallas Goedert had 8 catches, 117 yards to the TD, and the Eagles, Jalen Carter and Hassan Reddick, a couple sacks each. And I mean, that defense is for real. I mean, they got done but a bunch of Georgia players over there. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. I mean, real deal defensive line. That's why they let Jalen Hargrove go, because they're like, we got Jalen Carter in his place. But the Eagles are flying. And I think the Eagles and the 49ers, they could be on a collision course. I think they are seriously on a collision course for the AFC title game. I have no doubt in my mind about that. I'm trying to see if they got the... And obviously, December 3rd, we might get that that possible rematch. And that game could get flexed to Sunday night on December 3rd. I could see that happening. But last but not least, my last baller, welcome back to the Fab Five, Breece Hall. I am a Breece Hall fan. You know, he's come back off of injury, and he ain't doing nothing but producing. 22 carries, 177 yards, and a touchdown in the Jets win over the Broncos. It would have been nice to see Breece Hall with Aaron Rodgers. Would have been nice. But this dude can do it all. He is a 3-down back. As long as he stay healthy, this dude's legit. Hands down legit. And I love some Breece Hall. But those are my top 5 ballers and my top 5 games. We're going to definitely get into week 6 as, of course, the Titans head to London to take on the Ravens. So we'll definitely do our picks on Friday. We're definitely going to have our picks ready. And who's going to win the games. Of course, I'm going to do a short as well, picking my game Thursday night for the next Thursday night game. We're definitely going to do that as well as this Thursday night. Denver, Kansas City coming up. So I'll definitely do a quick video about that before that game. So we'll definitely go into that. Again, make sure y'all make sure you go ahead, hit that like button, and then also go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And make sure y'all follow the channel. You know, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, X, or Instagram, definitely make sure y'all follow me there. And that's going to just about do it for the Truth League Report Week 5 recap. Let me know what you think of the show, if you enjoy it, if you like it, or if you don't. I welcome everybody in, and I appreciate all of y'all tuning in, and y'all have a very good rest of your night.